Alright, the purpose of this video is to show you how to set up your 2-liter bottle for fermentation. What you're really going to need in this is you're going to need your cap. Definitely, you're going to need a 2-liter bottle, of course. And you may have to pull your head out of your ass for this one. You're going to need sugar. You're also going to need yeast, juice. You may need a drink to get through it. I don't know. But me, I prefer Welch's concentrate juices because they're cheap and they taste good. They don't taste like shit. You buy shit, shit's gonna be your end product. You cannot take shit and turn it into a good wine. I've tried it. I've tried the cheap route. It doesn't work. Trust me. You're just gonna waste money and make yourself sick. So get you some good Welch's concentrate. You want a decent red wine. Their Concord grape is really good. Concord grape is really popular here in Arkansas. There's a couple of wineries around here, Wiedeker, Post Family. They make good Concord grape wines. But if you use Welch's concentrate, you make it at home, 3 weeks, you want really good, a month. You could have a Concord grape wine that will blow away any of them that you would ever buy in any store or any liquor store. Trust me. Now, what you need to do, you need to mix your juice up first. You need to reconstitute your juice. Usually it's 1 can of concentrate, 3 cans of water. You need to throw that shit out. Alright? It's going to take a whole lot more water than that because that stuff, whenever it's properly reconcentrated to 100% juice, it's real syrupy. Now, if you want a full-bodied wine that's more thick, then leave it alone. Mix it up as it is. But remember, some of it's going to evaporate up out the top of it as the yeast eats up the sugar in it. It's going to also take away some of the volume of it. So in a 2-liter bottle, you may lose a half an inch in it because of fermentation. That's your shit evaporating out, and that's the yeast eating up the sugar in it. Sorry, I gotta get the Ted Nugent shot. Ted Nugent shirt in the shot. Anyways, the instruction list that comes with the Easy Caps, they call for 1 cup of sugar for a good wine. That's if you want a dry wine. Me personally, I don't like dry wines. I like sweet wines. I like to know that what I'm drinking at one point in time used to be juice. Alright? Because dry stuff is just fucking nasty to me. But that's just me. That's my opinion. Not everyone shares my opinions. You know? There's different types of wines for different types of people. But what you need to do, you want a dry wine, mix up a cup of sugar. You want a sweet wine, mix up a cup and a half. But keep in mind, sweeter wines usually have less alcohol content in them. Alright? They have less alcohol content in them because they're sweeter. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just a little stoned right now, but anyways, sorry, this is getting a little hard for me because I am getting a little high right now. Your finished product should look like this. Alright. You want about this much space, about that much space right there. Alright. You want that much space from your juice to the top of your bottle. Alright, that is if you want a wine that's got the consistency of a normal wine. If you want one that's full-bodied, thicker, with more flavor to it, then mix it up a little thicker than what the juice is. You don't want it to the juice consistency. You want a little thicker than what that is. And once you mix all of that up in there, you know, if you happen to have a meat thermometer, that's cool. But if you're able to judge temperature fairly decent, and you can judge 60 degrees to 90 degrees, then you would need a thermometer. Then you just take exactly 1/16 if you're going to do a slow fermentation. If you want to ferment it fast, take you 1/8 of a teaspoon of the yeast that came with it, because that is some of the best all-purpose yeast. All-purpose. You use that for beer, wine, champagne, sodas. It don't matter. It's a great all-purpose yeast. I want to know where in the hell this guy gets this stuff at, so that I don't have to pay $6 a bottle for it. That's why I invented my own little version of these caps here, so that I could be able to send my buddy Seth a box of 11 of them, and I'm only out $1. As if I was sending him a box of 11 of them, cost me 40 fucking bucks. But anyways, you want to take it and you want to set it in an area that does not have a whole lot of light. Not a whole lot of light, like a closet. Or I tell you, the best thing that you can get is if you have central heat and air in your house, and you have an inside air handler slash furnace in there. This fucking place, because it maintains a constant temperature. I know I used to install them. They have to maintain within, I think it's 5 degrees. But anyways, you've got a constant temperature maintained in there. In the summertime, it won't get too hot. In the wintertime, it won't get too cold. Alright? Now, whenever you ferment this, you're going to want to ferment it in a dark closet. Completely throw out the guide that they sent with the instructions. It says day 1 this percent, day whatever this percent alcohol, because according to them, in 1 week your wine, following their instructions, in 1 week you should have alcohol content of 20%. I've used yeast energizer, yeast nutrient. I've used high grade fucking yeast in that, and in 1 week I have never gotten it up to 20% alcohol. The only time I've ever gotten one up to 20% alcohol in less than a week, I was using what's called turbo yeast, which is distiller's yeast, which is what you want to completely avoid, because that's what they ferment mash with or making moonshine. You want to stay away from that, because it tastes fucking awful. Oh God, I had to throw the shit out because it was disgusting. Thunderbird is Moet and Chandon compared to that shit. So stay away from that. Get good slow fermentation on it. You want to speed it up because you got plans, or you just want to get fucked up, 1/8 of a teaspoon. Otherwise, 1/16 of a teaspoon of yeast in it. Screw your cap on it. Stick it in the closet. Let's see. In 1 week, average settings, you're going to have 8 to 9% alcohol. That's it. That's half what their guide says. If you want 20% alcohol, if you want to be able to get anywhere from 16 to 20% alcohol, you're going to want to ferment it for 14 days. Now, if you want to be a renegade and try and push it past 20%, because I've done it before, everybody says that regular wine yeast dies off at 20% alcohol because of alcohol toxicity. I can tell you right now, that is bullshit. Because just a few months ago, if even that long ago, because I'm a little buzzed, I managed to make a wine that was 22% alcohol. Now, how in the hell do you do that whenever most yeasts die off at 20% alcohol from the alcohol toxicity? That is where 2 things come in. One is yeast nutrient. I know that's backwards, and it says like in your tum GCA. Anyways, it's yeast nutrient. Alright, what this is urea, which is closely related to urine, and ammonium phosphate. Hey, kitty. Bye, kitty. Sorry, that was my son. But what did I use to get it up to that? I use yeast nutrient. Alright. If you create an environment in there where these yeast that you put in there are in complete hog heaven, you make an environment like that, they are going to be shitting some alcohol. I mean, they're going to have stuff coming out of their ass like me after I ate at Taco Bell last week. All right, I'm talking brutal, brutal, brutal. You know, like I'm bleeding brutal. But you also use what's called yeast energizer. Yeast energizer. It's a couple of dollars for a bottle. Now these you also have to be precise in measuring them because you don't want the taste of ammonia in your wine. And if you mix it wrong, that's exactly what you're going to get is a taste of ammonia in your wine. Ammonia don't taste good. Neither does urea. But yeah. So you do that in idyllic temperatures, you could probably push a good wine up to about 24%, 25 maybe, if you put it in the right environment and you're not going for taste at all, you're going strictly for alcohol content, use every one of them, but use them as you are supposed to. And you use a really highly active fucking volatile yeast, you know, you will have some stout fucking shit. But anyway, put it in the closet. You put it in the closet. 1 week you're going to net about 8% alcohol. 2 weeks you're going to net anywhere from 16 to 20. 20 is your magic number for the fuck up ability on it. Excuse me, the fucked up ability on it. My next video, I'm going to get into some things about how you treat it after it's fermented, or once it's reached that point of fermentation that you feel comfortable drinking it. You want to stop fermentation. But what you do before you determine whether or not your wine is done fermentating, this is very important. Very important. You twist off your cap. You take a wine thief. Now me, I ain't gonna go out there and buy a fucking glass tube to stick down in a no. My poor boy my poor boy wine thief, I took out of my damn combo meal drink I got from McDonald's. I washed it out with bleach water. I stuck it down in there, put my finger down on the top, and pulled the motherfucker out. And then I stuck it in a little shot glass and I tasted of it. And if it tastes all right to you, then it's done. That's when you know you've fermented it to the proper thing. Use a wine thief. Don't worry about taking that top off.